It's hard to comprehend the effect of 64 people from one high school being killed in Vietnam.
When the building was built in 1904, it was called the Northeast Manual High School. In 1913, they reduced the name to the Northeast High School. The building we attended, we referred to as the Castle. It was an all-male high school. That pretty much stayed the same until around 1956, with the sole purpose of preparing a workforce for the factories in the industrial complex in Philadelphia. The history of Thomas Edison High School is a controversial one.
The other reason you begin to see racial tensions emerge in North Philadelphia is not simply deindustrialization. That is one major factor. People are scrapping for jobs, and the jobs are harder to come by. But also, we have to acknowledge the fact that the wars each played a role, because as African American males went and served overseas, and in World War I, they see Paris. In World War II, their sons see Paris. They see a France that is much more accepting of African Americans. They get to enjoy French culture. They get to do things they would never get to do in the United States. And when they return and are basically told they have to return to the sort of social situation that's there, that structural racism, they rebel against it.
Our dividing line was Lehigh Avenue. On one side of the street was all black, mostly all blacks, and on the other side was mostly all whites.
I felt very uncomfortable going down there as a man of color. And when you had to go places like that, you feel very uncomfortable before you even leave, because you know what the situation is. And the same situation would be for the white people when they come on this end in North Philly. We call and set things, threw stones, the same identical thing they did to us.
I mean, every neighborhood had a gang. Everybody needed to be respected in every neighborhood. So if you weren't part of the gang, you were subject to getting beat up every day.
It scared the bejesus out of me to have the idea that I was going to go to Vietnam. But the gang situation in Philadelphia, it was really bad at one point.
There was violence all around, but you were more protected within the gang.
Whatever happened in the weekend in their neighborhoods, they came and brought it to the high school. They brought it to Edison.
We did have reroute of going to school or even taking a bus. We would wait till all the bad kids got on one bus and we took the other bus, even though I ended up being late to school.
The gang violence that I was involved in the 60s inspired me to go into the military. I needed to redeem myself. I was involved in some things that harmed other people as I was harmed through the gang violence, and I needed to redeem myself.
Yeah, they chose to be there. In many respects, they chose combat. They chose to go into airborne, jump out of airplanes. They chose to be the first to fight as Marines.
Once I found out that Sammy was killed, and remind you that I was on a hill in Vietnam at that time, from that point on, I was devastated, scared, out of the wits. While in Vietnam, I was scared for every moment that I was there until the day I got hit.
My family fell apart. When we were informed of his death, my mom stopped eating, my dad stopped eating. He would go to work, he'd come home, and I had a brother that was older than myself. He kept to himself, he was quiet, and the youngest one, who was 2, I had to take care of him. Nobody could take care of him.
I can't.
They said he was Dogwood 6, meaning he was KIA. And it broke my heart.
He saved my life. He saved the lives of the 50 or 60 people we had in the company. And I felt he deserved the Medal of Honor.
Their memories should always be kept alive, because when you put the number 64 right next to that should be the word freedom.